celebrate Easter with your whole goddamn neighborhood. Easter can wait. If you die, you will not resurrect like Jesus, and neither will your grandma.
Cluck the claters, yeah, yeah. The lifestyle's not going anywhere. Lunchbox.
Clello, some people are morons, and they continue to go outside and jeopardize not only their lives, which I personally don't care about. If you don't value your own life, that's one thing. But sadly, these people can affect you, your Kleber, their grandma, their mom, their dad, their great aunt Ruth, etc. But people are, I don't know what else to say, delusional. You see, I'm not going to make this about me, except I am. But people love to say, just for example, that I am delusional and that this is bad because I'm harming myself. And while that's all great and lovely and wonderful that you care so darn much, I don't leave my apartment for the most part. I rarely go anywhere. So my delusions mostly just affect myself. If you're pissed about me, you should be pissed about this, because this is a public health crisis. This is a pandemic. I don't know if dictionaries are somewhat unavailable, or dictionary.com is on the fritz. I don't know. It seems like people don't understand what that means. It means you need to stay home. And I really pity people who are so incapable of just not having limited contact with other human beings that they so desperately have to go outside. And it's one thing if you're an extrovert and you're like, golly gee, I'm lacking the energy I get from other people. Sure, I could FaceTime them. Sure, I could Skype. Sure, I could just call someone on the phone. No one does that anymore. Wow, outrageous concept. But the ones who really get me are the people who are protesting. The people who feel the need to make a point that they are free and that they can go out and do what they want despite what the government tells them. You have a lot of freedoms in America. The First Amendment gives you the right to do that, which kind of negates this whole concept of your freedoms being taken away. Because I've seen a few posts during this whole debacle of people genuinely implying that they are losing their freedoms because the government, and not even the whole government, it's a state-by-state basis. The president himself, who first said this wasn't a big deal, but then issued a national state of emergency, whatever, no big deal. That's one thing. But yes, state by state, people, governors and such are deciding you should stay home. This isn't this mandated thing where if you leave the house, you will be shot. Saying you should stay home. You could get in trouble if you break curfew or if you go outside and gather with a large group of people. That makes sense during a pandemic, but still, I haven't seen these people being tear gassed or anything like that. I've seen that when people protest, I don't know, their right to not have SWAT teams bust up in their house unexpected. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. I've seen a lot of people get gassed for actually peacefully protesting and not endangering public safety. Just sitting on the ground, kind of the thing that happened, I believe it was UC Davis, where kids were literally sitting on the ground. They got tear gassed in the face. But I haven't seen any of these people getting tear gassed. Maybe I've just missed that. I'm not sure. And tear gas is a bit much. It's a bit extreme, although I did see quite a few people say that it made sense because, I don't know, they don't like protesting. But in this case, it's actually dangerous to be gathered in a large group. And another thing that I find very disturbing is that quite a few people in Michigan, I've been seeing a lot of Michigan in, specifically when it comes to the protesting and such. I'm just looking at the numbers here. As of now, there are 28,000 confirmed cases in Michigan, 1,921 deaths, and that number is going to grow because people are protesting their right to assemble during a pandemic, but also because for some strange reason they're voting right now. In Wisconsin, people had to face the choice of you stay home and you don't cast a vote, or you go out and risk your health and possibly your family's health, etc. And some of these people said that they did not receive their absentee ballot in the mail. They applied for one, they did what you do, I've done it myself, where you go online or you fill out the thing and you mail it, and they didn't get it in the mail. And they felt like voting is very important. Voting is extremely important. So I'm not faulting those people as harshly. I still think they should stay home. But also, why in the world didn't they receive their absentee ballot? You know what I found very interesting? I didn't receive my ballot, because yes, I can still vote because I'm an American citizen. Deal with it. I didn't receive mine until after, I believe, the primaries were over. Luckily, you were able to vote as a American abroad here in Sweden, so it wasn't an issue. But why did my ballot come so late? How hard is it to send ballots to people, especially at a time when they shouldn't be outside? That's something that's worth protesting. Is it worth protesting during a pandemic? No, because that's stupid. But it actually would make sense that thought would enter your mind. That you would think, I'm pissed the Cluck off that I didn't get my absentee ballot in general, but especially right now. So people went out and risked their health because they felt like, I need to vote. This is important to me. And I get that thought process. I'm torn with that one because I understand that that's a serious thing. And people love to talk about their freedoms and blah, blah, blah. Are people as pissed about the fact that the whole war on drugs basically negates the Fourth Amendment? That's a pretty big deal. I mean, does the Constitution not mean anything? Because on one hand, people swear that it does when it comes to specific, certain amendments. But then when it comes to what I believe is one of the most important ones, people just don't seem to really give a shit. Oh yes, we should catch those drug users who are mostly, in a lot of these cases, harming themselves, which means that they need, rehab and help. But instead, we should just bust down their house with a battering ram without a search warrant, and that's okay. And it has been basically just stated that that is okay. For example, this was reported in 2015. A recent Fourth Circuit ruling overturned an award for a father whose son was shot and killed in a military-style SWAT raid after marijuana residue was found in an outside garbage bag. A jury awarded the father $250,000 after it was shown that the police failed to comply with their obligation to knock and announce their presence before barging in, and that they lied about several aspects of the raid. But they overturned that because the Fourth Amendment doesn't actually mean anything. The Constitution doesn't actually mean anything. I mean, according to this, I don't think a lot of people are aware of just how clucked up state of affairs are. I think people are too focused on things that don't matter. I see a lot of people, like I said, enraged about me dancing in my apartment. And I know that there are people who are going to bitch and moan and argue and say that this is overblown or this is caused by the 5G towers, because people, there's just no common sense. Like I said, it's been shot, dead, buried, chopped into pieces, the ash is scattered all over the entire globe. No one cares. No one cares anymore. Or have they ever? I don't know. But for some reason, people care more about this illusion of freedom while literally unconstitutional things are happening in America all the time. I remember reading about a case where essentially the Supreme Court ruled that basically the Fourth Amendment is just bullshit now because of the war on drugs. That you can bust in if you suspect that there is drugs in someone's home. That is a complete violation of the Fourth Amendment. I don't see how it could be determined or interpreted in any other way. But people accept that. And I just don't understand it. You should be angry, you should be pissed off, but people are pissed off and angry about the wrong things. So I'll say it again. Stay inside. Stay in the house. You need to sit your ass down and stay home. No one cares that you feel like your freedoms are being violated. It's a pandemic. That means that you shouldn't go anywhere unless you absolutely have to. You need to get food for your household. That's a need. You have to work because you were an essential worker. that's debatable, because in some of these cases, I don't feel like some of these people are essential. They should be able to stay home with pay. That's another story. But like, common sense, if you can stay home, don't go to the mall. Don't gather and protest with a big ass group of people. Don't celebrate Easter with your whole goddamn neighborhood. Easter can wait. If you die, you will not resurrect like Jesus, and neither will your grandma. So stop it. You're stupid. You are literally an idiot. Some absolute chloron said something like, I'm not scared of the coronavirus. Guess what? The coronavirus doesn't give a shit if you're afraid of it. It's still gonna get your stupid ass. And you might be okay, but the person that the railing that you touch and then that person touches it, they might not be. Shout out to Violet, talked about how she has an autoimmune disease, I believe it was, and she has to go out to get food, obviously. And she talks about how she goes at weird hours of the day intentionally so she can avoid human beings, and everybody's at the goddamn store. Why? Like, unnecessarily. I've seen people who work at Walgreens talking about how people are going in there to get chips and shit. What is wrong with you? You don't need those chips. You're like a stupid, annoying kid who's like, oh, I'm bored. I want to go rummage through the cabinet and eat random shit when you don't need to. You're not 5 years old. You can stay home. You can play a board game. You can fucking watch TV. Watch Netflix. Watch Netflix. And if you can't afford Netflix, stare at the fucking ceiling. Use your imagination. Draw something. Paint a picture. Build a house. Do something. You have all the time in the world right now to be creative. And people want to glitch at me about being creative. Maybe that's why you're so frustrated about it, because you lack all creativity. You do not have an imagination. And now that you're trapped in the house, you are losing your goddamn mind. I was born ready for this. Y'all know I don't go anywhere. I have half my damn head shaved. I don't need to get my hair done. I don't do my nails. I was born ready to stay my ass at home. So I'm a little biased. But honestly, it's not that difficult. If you get your clenergy from other people, be happy that we live in the age of the Clinternet, where you can Skype with your family members. You can talk to them. You can build one of those things, if you don't have a damn computer, where you put the thing and it has a little thing and you talk to someone, you can wear your mask with it. Or something, I don't know, just in case, because maybe, but no breath's gonna come through that thing the way it's built, so that's perfect. There's so many, get some walkie-talkies. You have Amazon. You don't even have to leave the house to get your groceries. I remember a few weeks ago when I spoke about this, people told me I was blowing things out of proportion. Imagine being afraid of the coronavirus. I think there's about 2 million cases worldwide now. No big deal. It'll blow over, I'm sure. In a few weeks, you can all look back at this and be like, wow, that damn clown little lunchbox sure was freaking out over nothing, It's wild. It's crazy. Just forget everything I said. There's no problem. We're fine. It's all good. Keep going outside. Keep gathering in large groups. Go for it. Be selfish. Be a piece of shit. Whatever. I'm sure that's worked for you your entire life. And yeah, have a blessed day. Don't let the platers get you down. Remember, this is something that's worth fighting for. You should go out and protest. You're right to go out and protest, even though you're literally outside while you're doing that. That makes a lot of sense. Fuck the Fourth Amendment, irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Who needs the Fourth Amendment? No one. The cops should just be able to bust in your house, just search you for random drugs without having to have a search warrant, or you being able to say no as a free citizen should be able to. That's no big deal. It's fine. It's totally okay. We're living in just like a fairy tale. Everything's great. Everything's fantastic. Nothing's wrong. We're doing well. We're doing really, really well. We're all good. We're all good, aren't we? So yeah, I know people were like, oh, I don't want to hear about depressing things. I want to hear uplifting stuff. Let's just get back to that. We're all fine. Cluck the Clorona. It's not coming for you. It's not coming for anybody. Nope. We're good. We're all good. Woo! Aren't we? Aren't we now? A lot of Americans don't have health care. A lot of them can't afford it. It's too expensive. Or they have shitty health care that's covered by their job. Their job that is not that great or doesn't care about them. So, it's really smart to go outside and spread a pandemic when a lot of people can't afford to get the help that they need. That makes a lot of sense, But who's gonna die from this? The poor! The homeless! government doesn't give a shit about. They're gonna die. And you won't cry. Because it doesn't concern you. Suffering. I'm so here for it. Suffering 2020. Hashtag suffering. I'm suffering. Are you? I'm good. I'm in my compartment away from all the clediots, and yeah, this doesn't really affect me. So why did I make this clidio again? I don't even remember. I'm gonna turn this off now. This was silly. Who cares? This doesn't affect me. Why would I care about this? I'm good. I'm in good health. Oh no.